KJ, I got a book with me. Yeah. Uh, got a subtopic here. The difference between contemplation, meditation, and mindfulness. Many of us have heard about the practice of mindfulness. We have all heard of meditation. You may even have practiced either both of these techniques. If you already have a practice such as meditation, it will not in any way conflict with the art of contemplation. In fact, you could see contemplation as a very broad term that can contain other practices such as mindfulness. Thus, as you learn to contemplate, you will simultaneously deepen any other practices you're doing. If you happen to do yoga, for example, then contemplation will give you more inward focus and will help you integrate it even more into your daily life. If you do not do any other inward focused practices or have little or no experience of such things, this is also perfectly fine. Contemplation is very generous and can pick up and put down anything it needs in order to achieve its primary aim, which is to bring you into a state of profound equilibrium. The main difference between contemplation and either mindfulness or meditation is that contemplation also uses the mind in a proactive way. We make use of mindfulness by inwardly watching our mind, our emotions, and body. But with contemplation, we are also doing something active. Contemplation engages the power of the mind, the power of mind, emotion, and body. It fuses and uses their energy to bring about an increased state of self awareness, freedom, and general prosperity. Thus, the real power of contemplation is that it naturally turns into decisive action, and that action brings about fundamental change in our life. The other great advantage of contemplation is that it is a synthesizing art. It brings together both left brain techniques and right brain leaps in awareness. For example, it makes use of the practice of mindfulness in the background while using the power of imaginative thinking in the foreground. In this sense, contemplation has many avenues of approach to suit different personality types. Whether you favor an intellectual, emotional, or kinesthetic approach, this is an art that can easily adapt itself to your needs. Yeah. All right. Let's uh-huh. Let me try and digest that. Let me try and revise on that my own way. So it says if you practice meditation, it will not conflict with the art of contemplation. Then it goes to say contemplation as a very broad term can contain other practices such as mindfulness. When you learn to contemplate, you will simultaneously deepen any other practices you're doing. Contemplation is very generous and can pick up and put down anything it needs in order to achieve its primary aim, which is to bring you into a state of profound equilibrium. All right. And then it goes to say contemplation also uses the mind in a proactive way. It says contemplation engages the power of mind, emotion, and body. It fuses and uses the energy to bring about an increased state of self awareness. Freedom. So, whenever I hear freedom, the word freedom has the word free there, and then it has the DOM. They're talking about the dome. So, freedom is a freed mind. When you're talking about free your mind, that's very freeing. That's very freeing. You could be locked up, but if you can free your mind, yeah, you could be in a position where you cannot leave where you are at or whatever. This is why some people they got into the caught in the prison system. Um some of them they take advantage of that and they change their lives. They're able to slow down, contemplate, think about the things they've been doing, their life, reflect on life. Because there's a lot of time that you just, you know, yeah, you got a lot of time to yourself and in an enclosed space. Then he goes on to say, the real power of contemplation is that it naturally turns into decisive action. He's also saying, uh, it is a synthesizing art. It is a synthesizing art form, I would say. Add the word form there. Yeah. They don't have it like that, but I'm choosing to add it there because I think I find it necessary. It brings together both left brain techniques and right brain leaps in awareness. It makes use of the practice of mindfulness in the background while using the power of imaginative thinking in the foreground. So, so the from what this is saying, the left brain is the one that be at is works with the practice of mindfulness. Then the right brain, that imaginative thinking. Okay, he also says contemplation has many avenues of approach to suit different personality types, whether you favor an intellectual, emotional, or kinesthetic approach. This is an art that can easily adapt itself to your needs. So what does it what So contemplation is a broad term that can contain other practices such as mindfulness. So mindfulness can be under the umbrella of contemplation. When you're contemplating, you're being mindful. You're practicing mindfulness. I don't know if it's saying whenever you're contemplating, you have to be you practice you have to also you're also practicing mindfulness. Let's see. So it says the contemplation depends other practices you're doing. If you happen to do yoga, for example, then contemplation will give you more inward focus and will help you integrate it even more into your daily life. Have little, So contemplations, from this text, it is a it's uh contemplation is generous. It can pick up and put down anything it needs in order to achieve what? Achieve its primary aim. What is the primary aim of contemplation? It is to bring you into a state of profound equilibrium. What are we talking about when you say equilibrium? No, English is not my first language. Sometimes I gotta Google stuff. And I become a great student like that, you know, by staying curious. Yeah. Woo! Excuse me. So he also makes a distinction between mindfulness by itself and as compared to contemplation. It says the main difference between contemplation and either mindfulness or meditation is that contemplation also uses the mind in a proactive way. So, with other practices such as okay, engages the power of power of mind, emotion, and body. It fuses and uses their energy to bring about an increased state of self-awareness. Engages the power of mind. That's the that's the what that's the power of contemplation. It engages the power of the mind, emotion, and the body. It fuses and uses their energy to bring about what? An increased state of self awareness. Or they say is that thus the real power of contemplation is that it naturally turns into decisive action, and that action brings about fundamental changes in our life. Yeah. How does it naturally turn into decisive action? It turns into decisive action that brings fundamental change by engaging the power of mind, emotion, and body, fusing that, using that energy, using those, yeah, the energies from those, to bring about what? An increased state of self awareness. So, this is what talked about. Those there where they talked about left brain, right brain, something. So, right brain awareness. Yeah, awareness, freedom, that's a freed state of mind. Yeah, an expansive state of mind. Open mindedness and the ability to be, yeah, the power to empty your mind. That could be done through meditation. But I bet you meditation is not as proactive. It's not gonna. It's different from the contemplation. From what I've gathered with this, yeah, uh, profound equilibrium. I was looking for that word. Equilibrium. See what it says. Yeah, man. Open that tab. Why are you doing that? Taking your time. Huh? Equilibrium. A condition in which all acting influences are cancelled by others, resulting in a stable, balanced, and changing system. The state of a body or physical system at rest or in an accelerated motion in which the resultant of forces acting on it. Uh huh. All right. Let's not get all technical with that. Okay. It's a mental or emotional balance, a condition in which all acting influences are cancelled by others, resulting in a stable, balanced, or unchanging system. So, a stable system, a balanced system, an unchanging system. You usually look at change as a positive thing, but sometimes that could be getting you. In this context, uh it's not in the positive connotation. Is right. Yeah, it's not on a good connotation. Uh, and changing system. So a consistent system. That's how I understand that. Yeah, a system that is consistent to get you the results. You know, to that is yeah. Okay, I could leave it at that. That's some good info. I got this book a while ago. I'm not big on taking on a book and start reading from the first page going to the last page like like um yeah, I don't be doing that really. And it could be that Pluto Sagittarius influence. I want when I want it. I want what I want when I want it. Like if it's some information, I go to what I need and I get it and I'm out of there. So I ain't got time for starting to read this like uh yeah, from the first page to the last. I could still do it. I'm not saying this is a bad practice. I'm not saying this if you do that there's something wrong with you or this no. It is when you understand the energies you embody, when you understand your design, your human design, right? You go less against yourself. Little bit by little bit, because I'm talking about from that point of the masses being disconnected from self, the true self, right? And being taught everything about the like dealing with the external, all this, nah, 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 nah. While we have limited information about who we are at the core, who yeah, um um yeah, like yeah, on the real, like who we are, who you are, who you can be, what is natural to your being. Yeah. And there's that for everybody. Like if we were meditating, practicing mindfulness, contemplation, and all these high vibration good stuff. If let's say if everybody was doing that stuff, then we will have good results. There's certain things that will be a match for a lot of, everybody doing that. But like how you go about it is gonna be different. That depends on the energies, right? Because if you're trying to do it like somebody else, yeah, you don't know. Maybe that it came natural to them. It just, they were flowing. They might have structured some things there, here and there. But yeah, they're going with the flow and stuff. And where is that for you when you understand the energies, your energies, the energy, yeah, like your energy centers, your energy banks, your design, your energy design. Oh, that's a different one. All right, your energy design, because we have the energy centers, but there are those who have, these are the third eye is active, it's open. Yeah, with the human design, they talk about defined, undefined, open. Uh, yeah, do they talk about like yeah, defined and undefined, right? Yeah. So with that, like they're not two people alike. We're similar, but they're not two people alike. Why? Because this is not we're not here to be factory workers, and no disrespect to those working in the factories. I'm using that as you just doing stuff like, that doesn't engage your higher mind, doesn't feed your soul, right? Like it could pay your bills, it could get what you need for you, you could, support your family and all that good stuff. But is that not from the survival type of thing? Unless now you like your job, you can like different things. You can know, okay, yeah, with the good energies, with the positivity, you could be doing something that is not really for you, but you got a positive mindset that it makes it easier, it makes it more tolerable. There's something that is now imagine if you in like that. So when you're doing something that comes naturally to you, that your energies respond to, like your energy, like your energy designed is your energies are designed for, then it's a whole different game. You know, you're just taking it to the next level. Yeah, you're not working. You could be working hard, but you're working smart and you're being efficient. Because a lot of times, not everybody who works hard gets what they want. If you're working hard at something that is not natural to you, if you're working hard by going against yourself, you're going to burn out and shit like that. You likely to. I'm not going to wish that on anybody, man. Sometimes we got to do what we got to do. Like, things have been on the survival mode for the longest, and we just like not everybody's gonna make that transition, you know, all at the same time. There are those who are having an easier time, there are those who have more information, they digesting this good stuff, and getting into that Aquarian shift, like, adjusting themselves and all that. Yeah. So yeah, being entrepreneurs, being their own bosses, right? And getting away from being under somebody, and somebody, yeah, deciding, oh, this is what you're worth. This is your worth, you know? And I use that not to say that just because you're working for somebody, the like what they get, the pay, the salary, or that's your worth or whatever. But to some extent, they take advantage. There are those job places that take advantage of that. They know you need them. They know you're reliant on them. So yeah, they're doing the list while expecting the most. They're doing the list for you. They want to give you the list amount while expecting you to do the maximum, the most. So that way, you're making somebody else what? You're making somebody else wealthy. That's where that you could easily become a work slave, a wage slave. And don't hate yourself if you're still there. Because these things, man, before you're able to adjust your mind, before you're able to, yeah, tune your mind, tune your energies, get in touch with self. Yeah, it takes some doing, and it takes that reprogramming, right? Yeah, it's like a computer. It's like a computer. It's like a center, like a machine, a central processing unit with softwares that could make the computer crash, to could make the machine crash, right? And you can update, you can put, yeah, a software that will make you have working smoothly, getting what you need to do with it much more easier. Cause life ain't gotta be hard. It ain't gotta be easy, and I'm not gonna say it's easy. At the same time, it doesn't have to be hard. We are tricked. We are made to believe in lack. We are programmed to be dependent on the external, on the physicality of things. But that's not where things come from, is it? So, yeah, like that soul spirit, right? When you're flowing, that flow state, you don't get into that by doing something that you've not been called to. You're like, it's not in alignment with you. That's the word. Yeah. And so things are gonna be moving much slower for you. You're gonna be waiting for that check to pay your bills, to get what you need for yourself, because you believe that that's the only way you could, you know, even if you have different businesses, it still goes back to that. And there are those with a lot of money, and they're like, this and that, but they haven't let go of that lack, right? So they be hyperactive, they be overactive, and doing too much in the fear that they're gonna run out of the resources they have for themselves. Or they're trying to save up or this and that or whatever. But if you're making time for yourself, um, yeah, getting right with self, getting rid of the what? Yeah, there's a teacher I'm listening to. Yeah, there's stuff that this is an interesting thing, man. Even before I'm able to grasp something entirely, there's some information that just pulls, like it pulls me. It's like I feel that pull. It's good on the ears. It sounds good, and it's like there's a part of me that recognizes this is how it is. This is where it's at. This is how it's meant to be. This is how it naturally is. But we're not taught that. Cause like I talked about, like, in a prison, kind of in a world that has prison like systems to harness the energy, to harvest the energy, enriching themselves while having you operating from your lower energies, your lower centers, right? Your lower nature. Because if we, right, rise up, when you rise up, when you're learning about the chakras, the center, the energy centers, and you're clearing them out, and yeah, those that are closed, those that are overactive, you're taking action, you're doing something about that to have it, you know, where it's serving you, it's serving self, it's serving itself, facilitating progress, high vibration. You vibrating high, you attaining your goals, your dreams, your heart's desires. Yeah. So this is the teacher in me using good information here to even talk to the student in me. Because how I'm even able to know some of these things is from being not having that information, but a part of me, you know, just knowing there's more out there. There's more, and understanding that, yeah, we're here to learn, to grow in love and wisdom. And with the love is light, yeah. So light, wisdom, okay. Consciousness, human experience, yeah. Now this is how that self-taught happens, man. Self-learner in a way, right? Yeah, application of the knowledge acquired, being digested and all that good stuff. Yeah, putting it to use and putting it to good use. Yeah. All right, I'm out. Peace.